Hey, shalom to the hopeful elect. First and foremost, I'd like to give all honor, praises, and glory to Yahweh, Bahashim, Yahushai, Bahashim Rachakodash. Double honors to the apostles, bishops, and elders at Great Millstone who teach the truth and rule well. This is the brother Yatab Allah coming back from the GMS SF Bay Area camp. I got a quick lesson today. All right, Lord's will is edifying. But this one, I'm going to entitle it something along the lines of, our people won't get it until it's too late. All right. And I want to start with this in Isaiah 6, because, you can tell our people to you're blue in the face, they're not going to get it. In the scriptures go into it, there's a spirit, a slumber that's blocking their eyes, right? They can't understand. But the Lord is going to allow them to get it when basically this thing's at an end, all right? When the destruction comes, when it's too late. But here's Isaiah 6 and 8. And it says, also I heard the voice of the Lord saying, whom shall I send and who will go for us? Then said, here I am. Here am I, send me. And he said, go and tell this people, right? And we're in the same stead, right? The as the prophets of old, this is how the Lord has dealt with our people, since the beginning. Is he send out his messengers, his prophets, all right? His angels, right? Which is just another word for messenger. But again, in nowadays, who do you have? You have the true men of the Lord, the true prophets from the apostles and elders on down, telling our people. All right. Now, what do our people do? What do the majority of our people do? They don't want to listen. All right. It says, and he said, go and tell this people, hear ye indeed, but understand not, and see indeed, but perceive not. So there's a dumb spirit upon our people that they can't get it. Right. And that's by way of Yahweh Shem Shai. Now let me grab this real quick, and ultimately, all right, who do our people go to? If it's not the Lord, if they don't want to listen to the prophets who come, in the name of Yahweh Shem Shai, who do they want to listen to? Well, they want to listen to Esau. All right. It says Isaiah 30:1. It says, woe to the rebellious children, saith the Lord Yahweh Shem Shai, that take counsel but not of me, and that cover with the covering, but not of my spirit, that they may add sin to sin. All right. And really, all right, our people are into everything else except Yahweh Shem Shai. All right. And primarily nowadays, who do you have our people into? Esau, right? A big bad Esau, the Edomite, having that Stockholm syndrome, the love for their captor. All right, our people go to him for everything. Look, as soon as you get sick, what do our people do? They take the so-called medicine that Esau gives them. They go to the doctors, right? As soon as Esau tells them there's a boogeyman going around, and the only way to fix it is to get a jab. What do our people do? Get the jab, right? Everything, all the food that's pushed, everything. All right, our people go to Esau for everything. They don't think to go to the Lord for anything. All right, verse 2, it says, that walk to go down into Egypt and have not asked at my mouth to strengthen themselves in the strength of Pharaoh and to trust in the shadow of Egypt. And this is what our people do, right? They trust in the shadow of Egypt because this is all they've known, right? Esau, he runs the world, all right? He must be doing something right. He has all the answers, right? Well, what does it say? Verse 3, therefore shall the strength of Pharaoh be your shame and the trust of the shadow of Egypt your confusion, because Esau's going down. Right? Esau, his power structure is waning. He's on the out, right? Everything that he's trying to push is about to come to an end, even though, he's going to seem like it's winning in the beginning, right? When he fully pushes this system, when he fully pushes the MOTB system, right? And our people are going to run to him. But what's going to happen? It's a sinking ship. The Lord already says that Esau's not going to get away with this. He has bounds that he cannot pass, right? In the book of Job, what does it say? It says, the triumphing of the wicked is short, okay? And ultimately, the Lord is coming to take this man from power, all right? And destroy everything that he has, every the whole power structure that he has on the earth. The Lord is going to take that away, okay? But our people who trust in this man, well, what's going to happen? You're going to go down right along with them. And that's why you can't take heed to the prophets. All right. Wanted to jump down. Let me get this first. 2 Corinthians 4:4, or start at verse 3. It says, but if our gospel be hid, it is hid to them that are lost, in whom the God of this world hath blinded the minds of them which believe not. right? So if our gospel, which is the good news, it is hid, right? It's hid to them that are lost, which are what? The majority of our people, in whom the God of this world had blinded the minds of them which believe not, lest the light of the glorious gospel of Hamashiach, who is the image of the Most High, should shine unto them, right? And who was the God of this world? Lowercase g. Esau Edom. He's the one that is in rulership. All right. Job 9:24. The earth is given into the hand of the wicked. So he is the God of this world. And he's blinded our people. All right. He's blinded our people by way of philosophies. All right. By way of his so-called science. All right. Just by the basically the grip that he has. Right. But nonetheless, what is it? It's all vain. It's all false. Right. It all goes against Yahweh Shemel Shai in the end. Right. He's trying to set up a system, the fourth industrial revolution, where basically combining, machines and bodies, right? The internet of bodies, which goes against the Lord, right? He's trying to tap into a form of immortality on the left hand side, which is not his. That's the Lord has not set up immortality for the Edomite, right? But nonetheless, this is the system that Esau's trying to set up. And what do our people do? They believe in it. All right. That's why ultimately the majority of our people are going to take that chip. All right. But let me jump back over here in Isaiah 6 and 9 again. It says, and he said, go and tell this people, hear ye indeed, but understand not, and see indeed, but perceive not. All right. And ultimately, why? Okay, because it's not for them. You have the prophecy of the 2/3 for a reason. All right. The majority of our people have a basically they have a destiny. All right. They have a lot that they're not going to make it. The Lord is only dealing with the remnant, with the elect. All the other people, they're not going to get it. The majority of our people are not going to get it. All right. And even those who know that they're Israelites, you have majority of them, right, that are just bugged out. Okay. Yeah, they might know that they're an Israelite, but they don't believe the MOTB is the mark of the beast, right? They don't believe in calling upon Yahweh Shemel Shai. They don't believe in prophecy, right? It's just a fad to them. All right. But it says, and he said, go and tell this people, hear ye indeed, but understand not, and see indeed, but perceive not. Make the heart of this people fat, and make their ears heavy, and shut their eyes. All right. And again, who does the Lord use to shut these people's eyes? The Edomite. All right. And amongst all these other stumbling blocks that are out there. All right. Which really the Lord set Satan to do all these things on the left hand side. But let me jump down in Isaiah 30 and verse 9. It says, yep. I'll start at verse 8. It says, now go, write it before them in a table, and note it in a book, that it may be for the time to come forever and ever, that this is a rebellious people, lying children that will not hear the law of the Lord. So every which way, they don't want to hear. They don't want to hear prophecy. They don't want to hear anything related to truth. All right, the majority of our people. It says, which say to the seers, see not, and to the prophets, prophesy not unto us right things, speak unto us smooth things, prophesy deceits. All right. And this is what our people want. They want smooth things. They want comfortable, right? They want comfort. They want deceits, right? This place is going to go on for 1,000 years. That's what they want to hear, right? They want to hear that this is the pinnacle of society. This is the best possible society that has ever been created, right? You have the Constitution. You have the Bill of Rights, right? You have what do you call it? You have BLM, right? You have affirmative action, right? This is what our people like. This is what they want to hear. You watch the World Cup, all right? You could go to a basketball game. You could go out and go to the bar, right? And basically, the Lord isn't here. That's what they're really hearing, right? That's what they want to hear. It says, prophesy not to us right things, speak unto us smooth things, prophesy deceits, which are lies. Verse 11, get ye out of the way, turn aside out of the path, cause the Holy One of Israel to cease from before us. Right? And this is what our people want. They don't want Yahweh Shemel Shai to even be, right? They don't want him. They don't want to hear that he has a plan, right? Again, they don't want to hear the gospel, which is the good news that the Lord has set up a kingdom for us, right? They want to go along with what Esau is giving them. They want to go along with feeding their flesh, a society that is built on sin, that promotes sin. That's what our people want, right? But nonetheless, when they finally get it, what's going to happen? It's going to be too late. All right, now let me jump over here. Romans 11:7. It says, "What then? Israel hath not obtained that which he seeketh for, but the election have obtained it, and the rest were blinded." All right. So again, only the Lord is only dealing with the remnant. Only the remnant are gonna take heed to the words of Yahweh Bashem Yahushai. Right? It says, "According as it is written, the Most High have given them the spirit of slumber, eyes that they should not see, and ears that they should not hear until this day." Right? This is exactly what we're reading about. It says, "And David said, Let their table be made a snare and a trap and a stumbling block, and a recompense unto them. Let their eyes be darkened that they may not see, and bow down their back always." Right? And this is a curse put upon by David to the majority of our people that aren't right. Right? They're not going to be able to understand the words of the gospel. Okay? But so be it. Our people don't want to hear. They don't want to listen. They want to take heed to the Edomite. So what's going to happen? They're going to be destroyed right along with them. All right. Now let me finish in Isaiah 6. It says, verse 10 again, it says, "Make the heart of this people fat and make their ears heavy and shut their eyes, lest they see with their eyes and hear with their ears and understand with the heart and convert and be healed," which the Lord doesn't want the majority of our people to be converted and healed. Right? You have to have the majority of our people fulfill the prophecy, all right, of the 2/3. All right. The two-thirds being cut off and die. All right. Verse 11, then said I, Lord, how long? And this is the point. And he answered, until the cities be wasted without inhabitant, and the houses without man, and the land be utterly desolate. All right. This is when, all right, the Lord is finally going to allow them to see. All right. It says, then said I, Lord, how long? And he answered, until the cities be wasted without inhabitant, and houses without man, and the land be utterly desolate. All right, what is that? Thermonuclear destruction. All right, and the Lord have removed men far away, and there be a great forsaking in the midst of the land, which ultimately is going to happen by way of the second death. All right, that's when our people are going to get it. All right, Second Ezra 6, Second Ezra 9. I want to get straight to the point. But there's a lot of meat in here. You know what? Let me just start at verse 7. Right? It says, "And everyone shall be saved and shall be able to escape by his works and by faith whereby you have believed." Right? And when you read up, it talks about the end, it talks about the signs of the end, right? And ultimately, how are the elect going to get out of here? With faith and with works, right? They go hand in hand. It says, "Shall be preserved from the said perils and shall see my salvation," because there's a lot of perils that are coming upon this earth. All right, this is the end. It says, "In my land and within my borders, for I have sanctified them for me from the beginning," which the elect have been sanctified from the beginning. It says, "Then shall they be in a pitiful case which now have abused my ways, and they that have cast them away despitefully shall dwell in torments." And what is this? The majority of our people. Again, who don't want to hear, the words of Yahweh Shem Yahushai. They don't want to hear the gospel, right? They don't want to hear the true men of the Lord, a preaching, the gospel of repentance, all right? Who do they want to listen to? The Edomite. So what does it say? It says, "Then shall they be in pitiful case which now have abused my ways, and they shall have cast them away they that have cast them away despitefully shall dwell in torments. For such as in their life have received benefits and have not known me, and they that have loathed my law while they had yet liberty, and when they had yet a place of repentance was open unto them, understood not, but despised it." So not only do they understand, they don't understand, all right, but they despise it. They despise this gospel. And what do we tell the people, right? Hey, our people, that the Lord is going to set up a kingdom on earth wherein dwelleth righteousness, where we're going to be perfect. We're going to be one with our Lord. We're going to be in rulership. We're going to be all royalty. We're going to be all good, right? And this is what our people don't want to hear. They want to stay here in an Edomite society at the bottom of the barrel, all right, because they can have some ham hocks, all right? Because they can have some al pastor tacos, so they can have some bacon on their cheeseburger, right? This is what our people rather have than a kingdom where you don't have to worry about any of that, unclean animals being put into food, right? But this is what our people want. This is why they despise the gospel, because they want to stay here. So what does it say? Verse 12. This is the point. The same must know it after death by pain. What are they going to know? That this was the truth, all right? That what the prophets have been telling them from decades, all right? Basically from the beginning, all right? That what? This is it. That there is something better than what the Edomite has built, all right? There's something better than us living as slaves, okay? But again, what do our people want? They don't want to listen. Now, let me grab this real quick. Ezekiel 33 and verse 33. Yep. It says, and when this cometh to pass, lo, will come what? Hey, these prophecies, ultimately the destruction. All right, Yahweh Shai coming back, a great salvation, a kingdom wherein dwelleth righteousness. It says, and when this cometh to pass, lo, it will come. Right? It's not a if, it's a when. Right? Hey, for what if some don't believe? Romans the 3rd chapter. The Lord is still going to make due on His promise, whether you want to believe it or not. Then shall they know that a prophet had been among them. Then you're going to know, right? But again, it's too late, all right? It said the same shall know it after death by pain. It's too late, all right? It said what? Until the cities be wasted without inhabitant. It's too late. When you finally get, it, it's going to be too late, all right? And I'll end off on this. This is Ecclesiasticus, also known as Sirach 39 and verse 24, straight to the point. It says, as his ways are plain unto the holy, which we go into this all the time. It's all about the elect. All right. Again, Romans 11:7. The elect have obtained it and the rest were blinded. Right? We're only worried about the elect getting this. This is why we push these lessons, because we understand only the elect are going to get it. It says, as his ways are plain unto the holy, all right, understanding the gospel, knowing that there's something better to come. That's easy, right? Crystal clear. It says, so are they stumbling blocks unto the wicked. All right. And again, we read the curse. All right. We read the prophecy. Our people aren't going to get it. They're going to stumble. They're going to keep stumbling. Why this? Why that? Oh, you think there's going to be slavery in the kingdom? What? Great. Oh, man's going to have multiple women. No pork. All right. That's a stumbling block to the majority of our people. All right. And again, when they finally get it, all right, when they finally understand, it's going to be too late. All right. But nonetheless, hey, we do this for the elect. And again, we have comfort in understanding that the elect are going to get it. All right. So we don't push this work. We don't push this truth in vain. All right. The scriptures do also say that our works follow us. Hey, we got to get the blood off our hands. All right. But nonetheless, the elect are going to get it. But the majority of our people aren't going to get it until it's too late. All right. Hey, Lord's will, this is edifying. Once again, I want to give all honor, praises, and glory to Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, Bahashem Rachak Wadash. Double honors to the apostles, bishops, and elders at Great Millstone. Shalom to the elect, and above all.